Jom, see when you make a boom, no be quite penny. More on fine hand time and was Chesapeake in the power more than also. As also when you are a cabo moon and one penny a day so on, sir. No more would our home brass here, a boo severe, be how more big my bound chamber catch all. There is no some of the year. More moon hope, no be a woman great. Jom, since a would no crema, as soon you ever be ever coso. So one na ade o catch on pie nya no pa say a hanta de ochi ahobrase e na de nya no yom
Asantehene TV, yes, so mosompa.
My master for native for Asantehene TV, I'm free preko pe. Aha, yes, also your phone. I heard you made another subscribe to the channel. No, I said you made it so I'm a wunia so any biahe. No, feel free so better waging or comment section one. The Boshi, I know that you came one European so now something in Otumfuo say to have a building and it's a you can't put him say I want to so or come up with Dijuma at the Abuane be Ababeka Ghana mining Asantehene na you go do one in share him not any papa share you near him say a former president of Ghana, John Ex-Kufuor. And so will be a kushia you have a fair mamma do or dog about doom. Na you are tenacity be diasem. Na the Nika Yanko Abra you could do now the former president of Ghana, John Ex-Kufuor. I want in fact on an MP man you could do now if you knew a buy. John Ex-Kufuor kushia you are him so say to Abbey Pew. Na Asantehene war on penny for when I say you have a fair Yanko. Way and in some course, I brought you a good do former president of Ghana, John Ex-Kufuor, said the America Karawa, Tina Kunya, me, piano now, and you were asked to Abbey Pew, and the Asantehene in a year above for Cantan Grechi, and the Kuna in Union so echo P more. Now yet you know you are at Nasi, not a Awukudae. Na Asantehene or minor and money and mamma baby Asantehene could be and there was a money and mamma woman a dead into you at Nasi Awukudae. Na a you be my son, you are near Sambia, what's Nasi near Asantehene a boo, some dim comoca credit, a contour with some common on a day, Kuna in a sorry was a da. Asantehene or my dear money and mamma and Asa Mudia, Kuna in so a dark action in the kinty that and you rap, a danda no cata, young Conyanko Habra, you rap, that's nothing.
by you be able to no coin. No be shares Asantehene. Yom. Welcome Hobomua. Ne sampa e chia Asantehene kabomua. E ho no. E ma ba he ne Asantehene kabomua kabomua sa mudi amudi di agro. Se ade ba kwa asefo. Yom. Yom, see when you make a boom, no be quite penny. More on fire near hand time and go Chesapeake in the power more than also. As also winning on a cabo when you win a penny, dear so, sir. No one would have home brass here, a boo 7 year, be how more big my bound chamber catch all. There is only some of the year. More would not hope, no be a woman great. Yom, she said, would no crema more. As soon be ever be ever coso. So one na ade o catch on pie, nya no pa say a hunter de uchi a hon brasier na de nya no. Yom. Yom. So what do I say? No by who say na dey some. No catch no fa dey sum ye ene kete. Fa na so. Ene bit ma boa mo ma bi yom ye bia so ayen ko so. Most of the women are saying, "I don't
Kotokoine kase krobiaine kasangen. Kotokoine kase krobiaine kasangen. Mema krobia iri fiang mani kotokungen. Mema krobia iri fiang mani kotokungen. Asante chantrot mo champonu fungen. Asante chantrot mo champonu fungen. Asante sesebo sumenditien. Asante sesebo sumenditien. Krobia satina dwe kasangen. Krobia satina dwe kasangen. Osei tutu mi modi nwa wisio. Osei tutu mi modi nwa wisio. Watch down kwani se wan pim sika poba no. Wan ne benya second chire bu achi dan kwani se wan pim sika poba no. Obinya se bia ko baby. Obinya se bia ko baby. Me no tell the favor dem le fie kasangen. Me no tell the favor dem le fie kasangen. Chire wan ntof moje ngen. Chire wan ntof moje ngen. Odafo dadi otmo champo no fungen. Odafo dadi otmo champo no fungen. Ose tutu mi modi nwa wisio. Ose tutu mi modi nwa wisio. Open na ni adine nkabom chechire wasantime nyina. Open na ade ni adine nkabom chechire wasantime nyina. Obinya sebia nko baby. Obinya sebia nko baby. Lagwa bakana ne flampo no demle ferisi. Lagwa bakana ne flampo demle ferisi. Me monja bindo da ko yadungen. Me monja bindo da ko yadungen. Osei Tutu mi modi nwe wisio. Osei Tutu mi modi nwe wisio. O personal di nka bom ni asumdie ba wa Asantehene ni Ghana man nyina. O personal di nka bom ni asumdie ba wa Asantehene ni Ghana man nyina. Obinya sebi anko baby. Obinya sebi anko baby. O saji fogu nyegu asingen. O saji fogu nyegu asingen. Adwe kasangen. O grasa tinaje kasangen.
Madam President of the General Assembly, Excellencies, it gives me great pleasure to address this General Assembly high-level forum on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration and Program of Action on a Culture of Peace. I bring you warm greetings and felicitations from the President, Asantehene, the government and people of Ghana. At the outset, I would like to express my profound gratitude to you, Madam President, and through you to member states of this organization for the gracious invitation extended to me to deliver the keynote address on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the Declaration and Program of Action on a Culture of Peace. It is a source of great joy to me personally that this 20th anniversary commemoration has happily coincided with the 20th anniversary celebration of my installment as the 16th occupant of the Golden Stool of the Asante Kingdom, established in the 17th century under Otumfuo King Osei Tutu I, my great-granduncle. It is not often that the voice of a traditional ruler from our part of the universe, the authentic voice of quintessential organic African institution, is heard in this hall, the world's most renowned debating and policy-making forum. I am therefore delighted by the noble gesture that has afforded me the unique opportunity today to mount this podium and share my thoughts with this august assembly on a culture of peace, mobilizing traditional leadership and communities for peace and security in my capacity as Asantehene and also as a citizen of Ghana, a country which has consistently reaffirmed its support for the United Nations and its charter since joining the ranks of member states in 1957. I commend the President of the General Assembly for convening this commemorative event with a focus on rebuilding effective partnerships to better respond to emerging trends that impact on the realization of a culture of peace. I cannot emphasize enough the continuing relevance of the United Nations as the bastion of multilateralism in driving the agenda for peace, peaceful coexistence, and culture of nonviolence. I wish to express, in this regard, our appreciation to the Secretary General and his team for providing support for member states, civil society organizations, and all stakeholders in these efforts. The United Nations deserves our full support and commitment to enable it to tackle the pressing problems of today. It is only some 4 months since we had the honor of welcoming Madam President to our humble palace in Kumasi during her official visit to Ghana. The visit afforded her the opportunity to see something of the interplay of traditional and contemporary forces in the process of peace building in our country, and also afforded us the scope to share some thoughts on how the core mandate of the UN may be further advanced. We are deeply honored to have the opportunity to take Ghana's contribution to a new level by opening the door to a new conversation which hopefully could impact the UN in the onerous struggle to preserve the peace and security of mankind. Madam President, I am sure that few will contest the fact that mankind is facing the greatest paradox in human history. On one hand, the benefits of nature's bounty have never been more abundant and more readily accessible. Science and technology have expanded the frontiers of human creativity to a point where we can observe what happens on the moon in real time. And a teenager with a little tablet can create a software in his bedroom which turns him into a millionaire overnight.
Jump.
The internet has turned on the light of knowledge beyond our wildest dreams. And yet, all that knowledge and wealth notwithstanding, we are faced with the stark reality that our world today is less safe, less secure, and less peaceful than it has ever been in history.
Jump.
Worse still, we have to contend with a real existential threat from a looming environmental catastrophe.
Jump.
However this paradox plays out, the United Nations will continue to be the only credible source from which the world may garner hope for survival. But it must also be obvious that in the grave new circumstances of today, a new construct is needed for which the UN's family must be prepared afresh.
Jump.
The global architecture, created in San Francisco and Bretton Woods, had real merits at the time, and truth be told, it has been decidedly successful in helping to keep mankind relatively at peace. It was right that the UN becomes a collegiate of sovereign governments, because it was only sovereign governments working together that could tackle the challenges of peace and security. The UN helped prevent the world from tipping over the precipice at the height of the Cold War. It saved us from the threat of nuclear Armageddon and helped bring a halt to a crippling arms race. All this was possible because all concerned knew who and what they were dealing with, the sovereign governments of states.
Jump.
For a start, the peace dividend which the world, particularly the developing world, expected from the end of the Cold War turned out to be the ultimate phantom dividend, a marriage that has left us in a state in which we appear to have leapt from the frying pan of state-to-state conflicts into the uncontrollable blaze of unidentifiable actors,
Jump.
making your seemingly innocent neighbor a potential weapon of mass destruction. Warfare is no longer the threat we face from states. It is now a danger we face on a daily basis from our citizens and from all quarters.
Jump.
This new threat comes on the heels of an unprecedented trust deficit in political leadership at the national level. The effect of this trust deficit is to erode the capacity of political leaders to rally their people to coalesce around national interests. The consequence for peace and security cannot be overstated.
Jump.
Yura Tanase, Osei Asantehene or Manintino, na Konahene, Dan ho kakra. Wamia would say, baby Asantehene could be an was Asantehene who desanse, and you could be a woman. When is a better of one Asantehene TV near Pesce Baba Somo? Asantehene TV, Abana Mania, Mamre, dear young demo for I was I saw nobody to go screen so, or friend penny for you. Maybe I was with the penny for better or small when did you maybe a send a fata. No about what is our subscriber channel. Watch it, you may be a course to near Rapapin. You can watch me not Santi, Amani, Amamre, a chabu, oh, be my son. Watch it, you may be so I'm a woman, so any meeting at the agenda this year, Pedia Macron.
Asantehene TV, yes, so Mosompa.